All right, let's talk Dallas Cowboys. As we're getting closer and closer to training camp, excitement is brewing that National Football League is finally back. Cowboys football will be returning at least training camp preseason version as we get ready, of course, for the 2025 campaign. We've covered a lot of exciting Cowboys potential steals, young guys, new additions, but there's one guy that I haven't heard of really in terms of now. But when you break down the numbers and look at the situation, looks like the Cowboys may have pulled off another high value move, another potential steal. We'll get to all of that in just 1 second. But first, I am Nick. That is Andrew. And this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, we've covered ad nauseum over the course of the past couple of weeks potential steals for the Dallas Cowboys, whether they be veteran additions like Kaiir Elam, who had a really good offseason, whether you go back to undrafted free agent Elijah Clark, whether seventh round pick Phil Mafah came into the equation. I know a lot of people corrected me in our last video. I said he was undrafted one time and 50 people flew down. Yes, he's a seventh round pick. Thank you for correcting me. That's why I love the comment section, keeping us honest. But there's another guy that I didn't really notice, and this is my fault. But when you look into this guy, look at what PFF highlighted about him. It's clear the Cowboys may have another massive steal. This is pretty bonkers stuff. Let's pull up the report here again, courtesy of PFF. Then we'll talk about it more on the other side. So this is a potential massive undrafted free agent steal. We're talking Justin Barron out of Syracuse. From the report, Barron garnered $234,000 in guaranteed money with a $20,000 signing bonus from Dallas, making him one of the team's highest paid undrafted free agents. It was warranted for the Syracuse product, who proved himself as a valuable coverage defender and run defender with the Orange. Barron earned 70-plus PFF run defense grades in each of the past 3 seasons, and his 263 tackles over that span formed one of the highest totals in college football among linebackers and box safeties. He also allowed just 2 touchdowns on 144 career targets in coverage while breaking up 9 passes. DeMarvion Overshown's late season injury, which I just hate thinking about that, but hopefully he comes back strong. And Kenneth Murray's shaky reputation could create room for Barron in the Cowboys locker room rotation. All right, we know there's Sam Bourne. We know there's Maris Leofau, obviously Samar James out of Florida. There's a lot of things going on with the Cowboys locker room rotation right now. But when you look at a guy like Barron and look at his numbers, I look at the 3 seasons where he was a significant contributor for the Syracuse Orange, 2022, 2023, and 2024. And you kind of see it on the graphic there, and it's all really, really steady, really consistent, especially in the PFF report highlighted the run defense. All 3 of those years, 73, 76, 75. This is a guy that was a consistent run defender as a linebacker all throughout his time in college football. Now, look, if you watched Dallas Cowboys football for 2 seconds last year, you knew stopping the run, a total unequivocal disaster. You look at an undrafted free agent here, one of the things he was the thing he was best at, and the thing he certainly was most consistent at was stopping the run. So you look at a great fit, good competition, ACC, good set of physical tools. Again, far from a perfect prospect, far from a perfect rookie. He's got a lot of flaws. If he was a better player, he would have been drafted like Shamar James obviously was. And look, I'm very high on James. I think he has a brighter future than Barron. But if you look at these numbers and just look at the fit and the situation with Dallas, I think there's a great chance they got a high-value, hidden gem kind of player right here. Because again, it's just a situation where the Cowboys need somebody to step up and stop the run. They're going to go into this season. You better believe Matt Eberflus, he's going to give people opportunities in training camp and preseason to prove they can stop the run in certain situations, regardless if they're a veteran, rookie, undrafted free agent. He's not going to care. And if you look at Justin Barron's numbers, it looks like he's a guy that can do it, right? Again, big difference between the ACC and the NFL, obviously. But the reality is what he was the best at is exactly what the Cowboys need. Don't sleep on the fit, especially when you consider the Cowboys essentially gave him $250,000 all told between guaranteed and a signing bonus. That means that there's something in the Dallas front office, Will McClay and company, they believe he can be a great fit as well. We'll have to see when the pads come on. We'll have to see things all shake out. Obviously, injuries on defense right now with Overshown. Of course, we're hoping for Diggs to return. A lot of other pieces as well. So there will be some opportunities for young guys during camp and preseason. So we are going to see a lot of Barron. We're going to see a lot of these young players. We're going to see a lot of how Eberflus puts everything together defensively. But this is a guy to definitely keep an eye on. When you look at the numbers and you look at the fit, it seems like another potential steal. We've covered a number of them this offseason, but another high-value move for the Cowboys may be coming to fruition. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But first, Cowboys fans, in the comment section below, going to switch gears on you here for a second. We've been talking about rookies. We've been talking about new additions. what's one returning Dallas Cowboy, a guy who was on the Cowboys last season that you think is going to be a breakout player? Me personally, I think Cooper Beebe is about to be a superstar in the National Football League at the center position, but maybe you've got a different guy in mind. Maybe you got another guy that you think is going to be a breakout star that didn't get a lot of attention, didn't get a lot of media hype this offseason, but you think definitely deserves it. Give us a veteran breakout candidate for the Dallas Cowboys. Put him in the comment section below. But all right, Miles, enough from me. What are your thoughts when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and this young linebacker out of Syracuse?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is, honestly, the perfect position for Dallas to have, an undrafted free agent possibly break through. A guy like Justin Barron. You look at the linebacking core, obviously, I think outside of Overshown, if he comes back from the injury, okay, which I, hope he does, I'm sure that he will. It's shaky at best. I think there's questions. So I think Kenneth Murray, you never know what he's going to do. They bring him in. He was a high level prospect. Can he turn his career around in Dallas? Can he start to show that he's got the stuff? Maybe Dallas can, highlight him a little bit better. Maybe they understand how to coach him better. This sure seems like this, coaching staff would be able to do something like that. I'm very impressed with what they've been able to do so far. But I think when you look at the linebacking group as a whole, this would be the perfect, group of all the groups on this team. Safeties look good, corners look good, D line, there's a lot of great players there. Offensive line, a lot of great players. Overall, this is the group where I think an undrafted free agent could sneak in and start stealing snaps. A guy like Justin Barron could fit in and start doing some really good stuff because there is just a lot of question marks. I think when you look at the linebacker position, they could be good question marks as far as the question gets answered, or they could be things that, turn around. So I think there's just a lot of unknowns. But Barron, I think this is a perfect ability to see go out, take some shots, and get some guys that come in here as, potential, have, breakout undrafted free agent to, breakout star potential. That's what we have here in Justin Barron, a guy that can do some things that the Cowboys needed done really well. Like we mentioned, run defense, being high on that. Guy drop back in coverage. Dallas has had some great coverage linebackers in the past. I think this guy just stands out. He has a lot of good skills that I think fit into this defense really well. Just overall, I think it's a good opportunity. I think it's a match made for Justin Barron is going to have some opportunities in Dallas. Dallas needs some of the things that Justin Barron hopefully can bring to the table. So I think this is going to be a guy to keep your eyes on. I think we're going to start to see him, like you said, football right around the corner. Once we start getting into training camp, once we start to get preseason, I'm going to put a microscope on Justin Barron because I think this is a guy that could potentially be a huge steal for the Cowboys. Because if he contributes at all to this team, I think it's relevant to say, hey, this guy's a steal, undrafted free agent linebacker starting to contribute for any team would be a huge deal. And especially here with the Cowboys, with this linebacking core, I think there's a potential that you could see this guy start to show up on Sundays.